Friends, travelers through time, and seekers of knowledge, welcome. Tonight, we embark on a gentle journey, a voyage through the fascinating, sometimes peculiar, and often surprising landscape of medical history. We will not be traversing treacherous seas or scaling unforgiving mountains, but rather exploring the intricate pathways of human understanding, or perhaps more accurately, misunderstanding of the human body and its ailments. Prepare yourselves for a soothing exploration of the unusual and the bizarre in the annals of medical practices. Our expedition will not be one of harsh judgment or critical condemnation. Rather, we will approach each historical practice with a gentle curiosity, a recognition that the past operates under its own unique set of circumstances and beliefs. The tools, the knowledge, the very understanding of the world were vastly different from our own, and it is within this context that we will attempt to comprehend the choices and actions of those who came before us. We will delve into a world where remedies were as varied as the illnesses they sought to cure, a world where the line between magic and medicine often blurred, a world where the very definition of health and healing was in constant flux. Tonight, we will encounter practices that may seem strange, even unsettling by the standards of modern medicine. Yet, within their strangeness lies a wealth of historical significance, a testament to human ingenuity and resilience in the face of suffering and uncertainty. We will uncover treatments that would raise eyebrows today, yet which were once considered cutting-edge, even miraculous. We will examine the beliefs and theories that underpin these practices, tracing the evolution of medical thought across centuries and cultures. This is not a story of failure, but a chronicle of adaptation, of learning, and of the persistent human quest to alleviate pain and extend life. We will journey through ancient civilizations, where remedies were derived from the natural world, from the potent properties of herbs and minerals to the mystical powers attributed to certain stones and charms. We will witness the rise and fall of various medical theories, from the humoral imbalances of the Greeks to the miasma theory of the Middle Ages. We will encounter the intriguing use of bloodletting, the application of leeches, the bizarre concoctions brewed from exotic ingredients, and the often unsuccessful attempt to understand the workings of the human body. Our exploration will encompass a broad spectrum of medical practices, from the seemingly benign to the undeniably strange. We will consider the use of trepanation, a procedure involving drilling holes in the skull, a practice that, while seemingly barbaric, offers valuable insights into ancient surgical techniques and beliefs about the brain. We will explore the use of bizarre remedies, such as ground-up gems, powdered unicorn horn, or what was believed to be such, and the application of various animal products, each reflecting the prevailing understanding of the body and its ailments. We will encounter the influence of religious beliefs and cultural customs on medical practices. We will witness the interplay between faith healing and empirical observation, exploring how spiritual beliefs often intertwined with attempts at physical cures. We will examine the role of folklore and superstition in the development of medical practices, acknowledging that even the most unusual treatments often had their roots in deeply held cultural beliefs. This journey will not be a mere recitation of facts and figures. It will be a narrative, a story woven from the threads of history, bringing to life the individuals who practiced and received these treatments, their hopes, their fears, and their unwavering faith in the efficacy of their chosen remedies. We will strive to understand their motivations, their limitations, and the context within which their medical practices were conceived and executed. We will explore the ethical considerations that arise from examining these practices, prompting reflection on the evolution of medical ethics and the importance of informed consent. We will learn from the mistakes of the past, not to judge those who lived in different times, but to gain a deeper understanding of how medical practices have evolved and to appreciate the progress that has been made in the field of medicine. So, settle in comfortably, my friends. Let the gentle rhythm of my voice lull you into a state of tranquil awareness as we begin our captivating exploration of medical history's oddities. Let the stories unfold, revealing the fascinating sometimes unsettling, yet always illuminating tapestry of human ingenuity and our enduring quest for health and well-being. Close your eyes, relax your mind, and let the journey begin. We will travel through centuries, encountering practices both familiar and extraordinary, gaining a deeper appreciation for the complex evolution of medical knowledge and the enduring human spirit. Allow yourself to be transported to another era, a time when the understanding of the body and the treatment of illness were vastly different from our own. The journey promises to be both informative and, I hope, soothingly captivating. Let the story begin. Now, let us transport ourselves to the sands of ancient Egypt, a land steeped in mystery and rich in medical history. Among the many intriguing practices of this ancient civilization, one stands out for its audacity and enduring fascination: trepanation. Imagine, if you will, the scene. The sun beats down on the parched earth, the air shimmering with heat. A skilled practitioner, perhaps a priest, perhaps a physician, carefully prepares their tools. These are not the gleaming instruments of modern surgery, but rather sharpened flints, obsidian blades, or perhaps even bone chisels. Their patient lies before them, their head shaved, their brow beaded with sweat. The air hangs heavy with anticipation and a palpable sense of the unknown. Trepanation, in its simplest form, is the surgical procedure of drilling or scraping a hole into the skull. In ancient Egypt, this practice, though seemingly brutal by modern standards, was not undertaken lightly. Archaeological evidence reveals a surprising number of skulls bearing the marks of trepanation, providing a tangible window into the surgical practices of this ancient culture. These skulls, carefully preserved over millennia, tell silent stories of survival, of resilience, and of the remarkable capacity of the human body to heal. The methods employed by the ancient Egyptian practitioners varied, reflecting the available tools and techniques of the time. Some skulls show evidence of meticulous drilling, suggesting a slow, deliberate approach. Others reveal more haphazard incisions, perhaps indicative of a more urgent procedure. The size and shape of the holes also vary, providing further clues about the techniques and intentions behind each operation. The tools themselves, often made from readily available materials, were surprisingly effective, capable of penetrating the dense bone of the skull with remarkable precision. But why would these ancient Egyptians undertake such a risky procedure? The answer, unfortunately, is not simple, lost as it is in the mists of time and the limitations of our understanding. However, several theories have been proposed, each offering a glimpse into the medical beliefs and practices of the time. One prevailing theory suggests that trepanation was performed to release evil spirits or malevolent forces believed to be trapped within the skull, causing illness or mental distress. This theory aligns with the spiritual and religious beliefs prevalent in ancient Egyptian society, where the body and the soul were intricately intertwined. Another theory proposes that trepanation was used to treat head injuries, such as fractures or hematomas. The removal of bone fragments or the draining of blood clots could have alleviated pressure on the brain, potentially saving the patient's life. This theory gains support from the fact that many trepan skulls show signs of healing, indicating that the patient survived the procedure, at least for a period of time. The survival rate, though impossible to determine precisely, is surprisingly high, suggesting a level of skill and understanding on the part of the ancient Egyptian practitioners. The evidence suggests that the procedures were not always successful. Some skulls show signs of infection or complications, indicating that the risks were substantial. However, the fact that so many individuals survived the procedure suggests that the ancient Egyptian practitioners possessed a degree of anatomical knowledge and surgical skill that is often underestimated. They understood, at least to some degree, the delicate balance within the skull and the potential consequences of disrupting it. Examining these ancient skulls is a humbling experience. We see not merely bone and stone, but the tangible remains of individuals who underwent a procedure that would be considered extreme even today. We see the marks of their suffering, their resilience, and the extraordinary capacity of the human body to heal. We see the testament to the ingenuity and resourcefulness of ancient Egyptian medical practitioners, who, with limited tools and incomplete knowledge, attempted to alleviate suffering and extend life. The act of trepanation, though shrouded in mystery, offers a profound glimpse into the medical practices of an ancient civilization and the enduring human quest for healing and well-being. Let the image of these ancient skulls, bearing witness to centuries of history, linger in your mind as we continue our journey through time. Rest now, and let the serenity of the past embrace you. Now, let us journey further through the corridors of time to the cobbled streets and shadowed alleyways of medieval Europe. Here, amidst the grandeur of castles and the squalor of crowded towns, a medical practice reigned supreme, a practice both widespread and, in retrospect, tragically misguided: bloodletting. Imagine, if you will, the dimly lit chamber of a medieval physician, the air thick with the scent of herbs and the faint, metallic tang of blood. The patient, pale and weak, lies upon a rough-hewn bed, their arm extended, awaiting the physician's intervention. Bloodletting, the practice of draining blood from the body, was not merely a common medical procedure in medieval Europe. It was the cornerstone of medical treatment, the go-to remedy for a vast array of ailments, from headaches and fevers to melancholia and even the plague. Its prevalence stemmed from the humoral theory, a medical model deeply rooted in ancient Greek thought and widely accepted throughout the Middle Ages. This theory posited that the human body was governed by four humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. Illness, according to this theory, resulted from an imbalance in these humors, and bloodletting was seen as a crucial method of restoring equilibrium. The humoral theory, while now recognized as fundamentally flawed, held immense sway over medical practice for centuries. It dictated not only the treatment of illness, but also influenced perceptions of health and well-being. An excess of blood, for example, was believed to be a common cause of various ailments, leading to the widespread practice of bloodletting as a means of restoring balance. The theory's influence was pervasive, shaping medical thinking and practices across Europe for centuries. The tools used in bloodletting varied, reflecting the available technology and the practitioner's skill. Lancets, small, sharp blades, were commonly used to make superficial incisions in the veins. Leeches, with their anticoagulant saliva, were also employed to extract blood, a practice that, while seeming strange to modern sensibilities, was considered a relatively refined approach compared to the lancet. Cupping, another common technique, involved placing heated cups on the skin to create suction, drawing blood to the surface and facilitating its removal. The application of these techniques varied, depending on the perceived severity of the illness and the practitioner's judgment. The amount of blood removed could range from a small quantity to a volume that would leave the patient significantly weakened, often leading to complications, and the procedures were rarely sterile, increasing the risk of infection, and a lack of proper understanding of anatomy and physiology often resulted in unintended consequences. The effects of bloodletting on patients were often detrimental. While some individuals might have experienced temporary relief from symptoms, the long-term consequences were often severe. Chronic blood loss led to anemia, weakening the body's defenses and increasing susceptibility to further illness. The loss of vital nutrients and electrolytes further compromised the body's ability to fight off infection and recover from disease. In many cases, bloodletting, intended as a cure, became a contributing factor to the patient's demise. The widespread practice of bloodletting in medieval Europe serves as a stark reminder of the limitations of medical knowledge in the past. It highlights the dangers of relying on theories that lack empirical support and the importance of rigorous scientific investigation in the development of medical practices. Yet, it also reveals a fascinating aspect of the human condition: our persistent, unwavering quest for healing, our determination to alleviate suffering, even when guided by imperfect understanding. The image of the medieval physician, armed with their lancet or leech, becomes a symbol of both the limitations and the aspirations of a bygone era. Let this image fade gently from your mind as you drift into a peaceful slumber, a slumber free from the anxieties and uncertainties of the medieval world. Rest now, and allow the gentle rhythm of my voice to guide you towards a tranquil and restorative sleep. Let us now delve into a specific aspect of historical medical practices, one that, while seemingly archaic, continues to hold a surprising relevance in modern medicine: leech therapy. Imagine a scene from centuries past, a dimly lit room, perhaps a physician's surgery or a humble home. A patient lies upon a bed, their skin flushed, their body perhaps aching. The air is thick with the scent of herbs and the subtle, almost imperceptible hiss of tiny creatures at work. These are not the instruments of surgery, but living organisms, tiny, slimy, and yet surprisingly effective: leeches. For centuries, leeches held a prominent place in medical practices worldwide. Their use wasn't merely a superstition. It was rooted in a belief, shared across numerous cultures and spanning vast periods of history, in the power of these creatures to purify the blood. The humoral theory, prevalent in medieval Europe, further solidified the leech's position in medical treatments. An imbalance of humors, it was believed, could be corrected by drawing out excess blood, and leeches, with their remarkable ability to suck blood, were seen as a natural, even elegant, solution. The image of these creatures, wriggling on skin, becomes a symbol of the intertwined history of medical practice and our attempts to understand the human body. The application of leeches was a carefully considered process. The physician or practitioner would select leeches of appropriate size and health. They would then carefully place the leeches onto the patient's skin, often at specific points believed to be associated with particular ailments. The leeches would then attach themselves, their tiny jaws piercing the skin, and begin to feed. The process could last for several hours, with the leeches detaching once they had consumed a sufficient amount of blood. The purported benefits of leech therapy were numerous, ranging from blood purification to the relief of inflammation and pain. Leeches, it was believed, not only removed excess blood but also drew out impurities and toxins, thereby restoring balance to the body. This belief stemmed from observations of the apparent improvement in patients' conditions following leech therapy, although we now understand that this improvement was more likely due to other factors, such as the natural healing process of the body. While the widespread use of leech therapy eventually declined with the advent of modern medicine, it is remarkable to note that this ancient practice has experienced a resurgence in recent decades. In specific medical contexts, leeches are now used to treat conditions such as venous insufficiency, skin grafts, and reconstructive surgery. Their unique properties, particularly their anticoagulant saliva, make them valuable tools in promoting blood flow and preventing blood clots in situations where conventional methods might be less effective. The use of leeches in modern medicine is a testament to the enduring power of observation and the surprising ways in which traditional practices can find new applications in contemporary healthcare. It highlights the importance of examining historical medical practices not with disdain, but with a critical and inquisitive eye, recognizing that even seemingly bizarre methods may hold valuable insights. The image of the leech, once a symbol of outdated medical practices, now stands as a reminder of the continuous evolution of medical knowledge and the surprising ways in which nature can provide solutions to modern medical challenges. As we reflect on the history of leech therapy, let us remember the importance of maintaining a balanced perspective. While the widespread use of leeches in the past was often based on incomplete understanding, their carefully controlled and selective use in contemporary medicine showcases the value of revisiting traditional practices, understanding their underlying principles, and adapting them to meet the challenges of modern healthcare. Let the image of the leech, both historical and modern, linger gently in your thoughts as you drift into a peaceful and restful sleep. The quiet hum of the night, like the quiet work of the leech, will lull you into a state of deep relaxation. Sleep soundly now, and let the gentle rhythm of my voice guide you to a tranquil slumber. Let us now turn our attention to a particularly grim chapter in medical history, one that involved a substance both fascinating and fearsome: mercury. For centuries, this heavy metal, with its shimmering, liquid form, held a peculiar allure, captivating alchemists and physicians alike. Its use, however, particularly in the treatment of syphilis, stands as a stark reminder of the perilous path of medical experimentation without a firm understanding of the human body and the subtle interactions of substances within it. Syphilis, a devastating and often fatal disease, has plagued humanity for centuries. Its insidious nature, its ability to wreak havoc on the body, fueled a desperate search for effective treatments. In the absence of antibiotics, the quest for a cure led to some truly harrowing medical practices, none more so than the extensive use of mercury. Imagine, if you will, the dimly lit chambers of a physician's office, the air heavy with the metallic tang of mercury, a substance both captivating and lethal. The rationale behind the use of mercury in syphilis treatment was rooted in the belief that this heavy metal possessed the power to purge the body of the disease. The methods, however, were far from gentle. Mercury was administered in various forms, often as a salve applied directly to the skin, a practice that resulted in painful sores and skin irritations. Internal administration was also common, with mercury salts ingested in various forms, leading to a range of debilitating side effects. The process of mercury treatment was arduous and often protracted. Patients endured weeks, months, or even years of this harsh regimen, their bodies subjected to the toxic effects of mercury. The symptoms were numerous and debilitating, ranging from nausea and vomiting to tremors, neurological damage, and kidney failure. The long-term effects were often devastating, leaving many patients permanently weakened and disabled. The metallic taste of mercury, lingering in the mouth, became a constant reminder of the agonizing treatment they had endured. The use of mercury in the treatment of syphilis stands as a stark example of the dangers of employing treatments without a thorough understanding of their mechanisms of action and potential side effects. While the intention was undoubtedly to alleviate suffering and save lives, the consequences were often far more severe than the disease itself. The images of patients suffering from mercury poisoning, their bodies ravaged by the toxic effects of the treatment, serve as a cautionary tale in the annals of medical history. The story of mercury and syphilis is not merely a historical footnote. It is a poignant reminder of the importance of careful scientific investigation and the ethical considerations that must guide medical practice. The relentless pursuit of effective treatments should never come at the cost of inflicting further harm upon the patient. The image of the mercury vial, once a symbol of hope, now stands as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of misguided medical interventions. Let this image fade gently from your mind as you prepare for a restful sleep. The contrast between the hope for a cure and the harsh reality of the treatment is a powerful reminder of the human desire to overcome disease and the constant evolution of medical understanding. As you drift off to sleep, let the gentle rhythm of my voice wash over you, carrying away any lingering images of suffering and replacing them with peaceful dreams. Let the quiet darkness of the night soothe your mind and body, preparing you for a deep and restorative sleep. Rest now, and allow the tranquility of slumber to envelop you completely. Sleep soundly. Now, let us journey to a time when the line between remedy and poison blurred, a time when a substance as deadly as arsenic found its way into medicinal preparations. The very name, arsenic, evokes an image of danger, of something sinister and lethal. Yet for centuries, this potent element held a place in the pharmacopoeia, its use reflecting a complex interplay of belief, experimentation, and a profound misunderstanding of its inherent toxicity. Imagine a world where the apothecary's shelves held not only soothing herbs and gentle balms, but also vials containing the insidious powder of arsenic. This wasn't some clandestine practice. Arsenic-based medicines were openly prescribed for a variety of ailments, a testament to the limitations of medical knowledge and the desperate search for effective treatments. The very act of preparing these remedies, carefully measuring the deadly powder, would have been a delicate dance between healing and harm, a delicate balance between life and death. The perceived benefits of arsenic were diverse, reflecting the range of conditions it was believed to treat. Some saw it as a potent tonic, capable of invigorating the body and boosting energy levels. Others believed it possessed the ability to purify the blood, ridding the system of impurities and restoring balance. Still others used it to treat skin conditions, relying on its powerful effects to clear up blemishes and sores. The very idea of consuming or applying a substance so inherently toxic underscores the significant gaps in understanding that characterized medical practices of the time. The methods of administering arsenic were as varied as its purported benefits. It was often incorporated into pills and potions, its bitter taste masked by other ingredients. In some cases, it was applied topically, used in salves and ointments to treat skin ailments. The dosage was crucial, of course, the fine line between a therapeutic dose and a lethal one being incredibly narrow. A slight miscalculation, a simple error in measurement, could have devastating consequences, turning a potential remedy into a fatal mistake. The long-term effects of arsenic exposure were, of course, devastating. Chronic arsenic poisoning led to a range of debilitating symptoms, including nausea, vomiting, skin lesions, hair loss, and neurological damage. The insidious nature of the poison, its ability to accumulate in the body over time, made it all the more dangerous. The image of a person slowly succumbing to arsenic poisoning, their body weakened and ravaged by the cumulative effects of the toxin, serves as a somber reminder of the risks associated with these practices. The history of arsenic-based medicines is a testament to the complex relationship between medicine and toxicology, the constant interplay between healing and harm. It highlights the crucial role of scientific understanding in medical practice, the need for rigorous testing, and a deep understanding of the substances we use to treat illness. As we reflect on this dark chapter in medical history, we can appreciate the immense progress that has been made in ensuring the safety and efficacy of modern medications. The story of arsenic, a substance both life-giving and life-taking, serves as a powerful reminder of the ever-present need for caution and careful consideration in the pursuit of medical advancement. Let this knowledge settle gently into your thoughts, a quiet reflection as you prepare for the tranquility of sleep. The calming rhythm of my voice will now lull you into a state of deep relaxation. Allow the quiet darkness to envelop you, bringing with it the gentle promise of restful slumber. Sleep now, and let the peace of the night surround you. Let us now turn our attention to a substance that has captivated and confounded humanity for millennia: opium. Derived, it wasn't some hidden, clandestine substance. Opium was readily available, often sold openly in apothecaries and marketplaces, its potent properties well known and widely utilized. The ease of access, however, masked the insidious nature of its addictive properties. The use of opium extended far beyond simple pain relief. Its sedative qualities made it a popular remedy for a wide range of ailments, from insomnia and anxiety to coughs and diarrhea. Mothers often used it to soothe their crying infants, unaware of the potential for long-term dependence. The very act of administering opium, whether as a soothing syrup or a carefully measured dose, was often a daily ritual, a testament to its widespread acceptance and integration into daily life. The allure of opium lay not only in its effectiveness, but also in the profound sense of euphoria it could induce. The user would experience a sense of detachment from pain and worry, a blissful escape from the harsh realities of life. This seductive quality, however, came at a steep price. The development of dependence was often gradual, insidious, and difficult to detect in its early stages. The initial relief would eventually give way to a desperate craving, a relentless need for the substance to maintain a semblance of normalcy. The consequences of opium addiction were often devastating. Users would experience a range of debilitating symptoms, including withdrawal, intense cravings, and a profound sense of despair. Families were torn apart, livelihoods lost, and lives consumed by the relentless pursuit of the next dose. The image of an opium den, a place of shadowy figures and hushed whispers, stands as a stark reminder of the destructive potential of this potent substance. The widespread use of opium also highlights the limitations of medical knowledge and the desperate search for effective pain relief. In the absence of modern analgesics, opium offered a powerful, albeit dangerous, solution. Its ability to numb pain and induce a state of oblivion made it an attractive option, even in the face of its addictive properties. The use of opium, therefore, is not simply a historical footnote. It is a cautionary tale about the delicate balance between relief and dependence. The story of opium serves as a potent reminder of the need for responsible use of powerful substances and the importance of understanding the long-term consequences of addiction. The image of the opium poppy, beautiful yet deadly, should serve as a symbol of caution and a testament to the enduring power of addiction. As the gentle rhythm of my voice continues, allow your mind to drift toward a state of peaceful tranquility. Let the quiet darkness of the night embrace you, preparing you for a deep and restful sleep. Sleep now, and let the tranquility of slumber wash over you completely. Now, let us ascend to the breathtaking heights of the Andes Mountains, a land of majestic peaks and ancient traditions. Here, amidst the thin air and stunning landscapes, we encounter the coca leaf, a plant with a rich history intertwined with the cultural fabric of Andean civilizations. For centuries, the coca leaf has held a position of profound significance, not as a recreational drug, but as a vital element of daily life, a source of sustenance, and a cornerstone of medicinal practices. Imagine the daily lives of Andean communities, where the gentle chewing of coca leaves is an integral part of their routines. It's not a ritualistic act performed only on special occasions. It's a customary practice interwoven into the fabric of their existence, a way to alleviate hunger, combat fatigue, and enhance endurance. The coca leaf isn't merely a plant. It's a symbol of cultural identity, a shared heritage passed down through generations. The traditional use of coca leaves in the Andes wasn't solely for physical sustenance. It also held deep medicinal value. Indigenous healers, possessing generations of knowledge, utilized coca leaves to treat a variety of ailments. They recognized the leaf's ability to alleviate pain, reduce inflammation, and soothe digestive issues. The coca leaf wasn't simply a remedy. It was an integral part of a holistic approach to healthcare, one that recognized the interconnectedness of mind, body, and spirit. The preparation and consumption of coca leaves were embedded in a rich social context. Sharing coca leaves was a gesture of hospitality, a way to build community bonds and foster social cohesion. The act of chewing coca leaves together was a shared experience, a moment of connection that transcended the simple act of consumption. It was a way to build relationships, to forge alliances, and to strengthen the bonds that held Andean communities together. The very act of offering coca leaves was an expression of respect, a demonstration of trust and goodwill. In contrast to the traditional use of coca leaves, the modern processing of coca into cocaine presents a starkly different picture. The refined product, stripped of its cultural context and traditional uses, becomes a powerful and addictive substance, divorced from the holistic and social aspects of its original form. The transformation of coca leaves into cocaine represents a significant shift, a transition from a culturally significant plant to a dangerous drug. This stark contrast underscores the importance of understanding the historical context of substances before making judgments about their inherent value or danger. The story of the coca leaf in the Andes is not simply a tale of medicinal use and social significance. It's a cautionary tale about the potential for misuse and the devastating consequences of stripping a substance of its cultural context. The difference between the traditional use of coca leaves and the modern use of cocaine serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of cultural sensitivity and the need to understand the complex interplay between substances, culture, and societal perceptions. As we contemplate the rich history of coca leaf use in the Andes, let us appreciate the profound difference between traditional practice and modern misuse. Let the image of the Andean highlands, a land of majestic beauty and ancient traditions, soothe your mind and prepare you for a peaceful night's rest. The gentle rhythm of my voice will now guide you towards a state of deep relaxation. Allow the calming darkness to envelop you, bringing with it the gentle promise of restful slumber. Sleep now, and let the tranquility of a night embrace you. Let us now delve into the verdant world of herbal remedies, a realm where nature's bounty has been harnessed for healing purposes for millennia. From the ancient apothecaries of civilizations past to the modern-day herbalist garden, plants have played a significant role in the treatment of illness and the maintenance of well-being. But how effective were these remedies? And how do we distinguish between genuine therapeutic properties and the power of suggestion? Imagine a bustling marketplace in ancient Greece, the air thick with the aroma of various herbs and spices. Vendors hawk their wares, extolling the virtues of different plants and their purported healing properties. Among them, we find remedies for a wide array of ailments, from simple digestive complaints to more serious conditions. Some of these herbal remedies had a sound basis in observation and practical experience, while others were rooted in folklore and traditional beliefs. The line between effective medicine and placebo effect was often blurred. Consider the use of willow bark, a remedy employed for centuries to alleviate pain and fever. Modern science has since identified salicylic acid, the active component of willow bark, as a precursor to aspirin. This discovery validates the traditional knowledge of ancient healers, demonstrating the efficacy of a remedy passed down through generations. This is a testament to the power of observation and the ability of traditional healers to identify effective treatments, long before the tools of modern science were available. However, not all herbal remedies enjoyed such a clear-cut success story. Many were based on symbolic associations or purely on the placebo effect. The belief in the power of a specific herb, imbued with cultural significance or spiritual meaning, could lead to perceived improvements in health, even in the absence of any demonstrable physiological effect. This highlights the powerful role of the mind in the healing process, a factor often overlooked in the quest for purely scientific explanations. The effectiveness of herbal remedies also depended heavily on the quality and preparation of the plant material. Variations in growing conditions, harvesting techniques, and storage methods could significantly affect the potency of the active ingredients. Inconsistent preparation and inconsistent dosing further complicated the assessment of efficacy, making it challenging to establish reliable clinical outcomes. This variability makes it difficult to compare historical claims of efficacy with modern scientific standards. Furthermore, the understanding of disease processes throughout history was vastly different from our modern understanding. Ancient healers often attributed illness to imbalances in bodily humors or supernatural forces, rather than to specific pathogens or physiological malfunctions. Their treatments reflected these beliefs, and while some might have had a positive effect, often due to the plant's inherent properties, others were entirely ineffective or even harmful. The distinction between herbal remedies with a scientific basis and those with purely symbolic or placebo effects is not always straightforward. Many herbal remedies likely contained active compounds that produced genuine therapeutic effects, but the overall efficacy was often influenced by other factors, such as the patient's belief in the treatment, the quality of the plant material, and the healer's skill in preparing and administering the remedy. The complex interplay of these factors makes a definitive assessment of historical effectiveness challenging. As we reflect on the use of herbal remedies throughout history, we can appreciate the remarkable ingenuity of ancient healers in harnessing the power of nature for healing. While some remedies proved effective, others were based on flawed understanding or mere belief. The story of herbal remedies highlights the enduring human quest for health and well-being, a journey marked by both successes and setbacks. As the calming rhythm of my voice continues to wash over you, Allow yourself to drift into a state of peaceful relaxation. Let the soothing darkness of the night embrace you, preparing you for a deep and restful sleep. Sleep now, and let the tranquility of slumber guide you to a peaceful night's rest. Now, let us journey back in time to a period when the understanding of the human body and its ailments was deeply intertwined with the natural world. We shall explore a fascinating and influential concept known as the doctrine of signatures, a belief system that guided herbal medicine for centuries. Imagine a world where the very appearance of a plant held the key to its medicinal properties. The doctrine of signatures, rooted in ancient traditions and deeply embedded in medieval and Renaissance thought, proposed that God had intentionally designed plants to resemble the parts of the body they were meant to heal. This belief system, a blend of philosophy, theology, and practical observation, held that nature itself provided clear visual cues, signatures, to indicate a plant's therapeutic use. Picture a vibrant meadow, teeming with a diverse array of plants, each with its unique form and color. According to the doctrine of signatures, a plant's resemblance to a specific organ or body part suggested its suitability for treating ailments related to that part. For example, a plant with a root resembling a human lung might have been used to treat respiratory problems. Similarly, a plant with leaves shaped like a liver could have been believed to possess the power to heal liver ailments. This belief system was not merely a whimsical notion. It influenced medical practices across vast geographical regions and spanned several centuries. Herbalists and physicians meticulously studied the morphology of plants, searching for visual clues that could unlock their healing potential. The seemingly obvious correspondence between a plant's appearance and a body part fueled the belief in its efficacy, lending a sense of inherent logic and divine design to the practice of herbal medicine. However, the doctrine of signatures was not without its limitations. The interpretation of these signatures was often subjective, leading to varied and sometimes contradictory uses of the same plant. What one herbalist might interpret as a clear indication of a plant's medicinal properties, another might see differently. This subjectivity introduced an element of uncertainty, making it challenging to establish consistent and reliable therapeutic applications. Despite its inherent limitations and the potential for misinterpretations, the doctrine of signatures played a significant role in the development of herbal medicine. It fostered a close relationship between humans and the natural world, encouraging careful observation of plants and their properties. While the underlying principle might seem naive by modern scientific standards, the doctrine of signatures spurred a deep engagement with the natural world, leading to the discovery and documentation of many plants and their potential medicinal benefits. The legacy of the doctrine of signatures is not simply a relic of a bygone era. It highlights the enduring human desire to find meaning and order in the natural world. It reminds us that our understanding of the world is constantly evolving, and that even seemingly flawed beliefs can contribute to the advancement of knowledge. The doctrine of signatures underscores the interconnectedness of human culture, belief systems, and the natural world, a relationship that continues to shape our understanding of health and well-being. As we reflect upon the doctrine of signatures, let the image of a tranquil meadow, filled with plants of varied forms and colors, soothe your mind. Let the gentle rhythm of my voice guide you towards a state of profound relaxation. Allow the calming darkness to envelop you, bringing with it the gentle promise of restful slumber. Sleep now, and let the tranquility of the night embrace you, preparing you for a deep and restorative sleep. Let the peaceful silence of the night surround you, and drift off into a peaceful and rejuvenating slumber. Let us now transport ourselves to a time when the art of surgery was in its infancy, a period where the tools were rudimentary, the understanding of the human body limited, and the procedures fraught with peril. Imagine a world without the sterile environments, sophisticated instruments, and advanced anesthetics that we take for granted today. This was the reality for those who underwent surgery in the distant past. Early surgical practices were often performed in less than ideal conditions. Operating theaters, if they could be called that, lacked the antiseptic measures we now consider essential. The very air was thick with the potential for infection, a constant threat that loomed large over both the patient and the surgeon. Imagine the scene: dimly lit rooms, perhaps a rough wooden table serving as the operating surface, and instruments that had likely been used on numerous patients before, their surfaces harboring unseen microorganisms. The absence of anesthesia was perhaps the most significant difference between then and now. Imagine the sheer agony experienced by patients undergoing procedures without any pain relief. The only respite from the excruciating pain may have been the merciful loss of consciousness brought on by shock or blood loss. The screams of patients during surgery must have been a common sound within the walls of the early surgical spaces. It is a chilling thought, a stark contrast to the relative comfort and safety of modern surgical procedures. The surgical techniques themselves were often crude and imprecise. Surgeons, lacking the detailed anatomical knowledge we possess today, relied heavily on intuition and experience, guided by a limited understanding of human physiology. The procedures were often more akin to a desperate attempt to address a problem rather than a calculated approach based on scientific understanding. One can only imagine the level of skill and courage required to perform such procedures, given the limitations of the time. The high risk of infection was a constant concern. Without the understanding of germ theory and the development of antiseptic techniques, the risk of infection following surgery was extremely high. Simple wounds could easily become life-threatening infections, often leading to septicemia and death. Postoperative care was rudimentary at best, offering little protection against the invasion of harmful microorganisms. The mortality rate following even minor procedures was significantly higher than it is today. The lack of adequate pain management and the ever-present threat of infection made early surgery a truly daunting experience. It was a testament to the resilience and fortitude of both the patients and the surgeons who undertook these procedures. It is essential to remember that despite the limitations and the high risks, these early surgeons were pioneering the field of surgery, developing the techniques and laying the groundwork for the advancements we see today. Their efforts, though imperfect, represent a crucial step in the long and evolving history of surgical practice. Their dedication and courage, in the face of significant challenges, should be acknowledged and admired. As we contemplate the challenges faced by early surgeons and their patients, let the image of a quiet, darkened room, filled with the soft glow of a single candle, ease your mind. Let the gentle rhythm of my voice wash over you, carrying you towards a peaceful and restful state. Allow the tranquility of the night to soothe your senses, preparing you for a deep and restorative sleep. Let the quiet darkness embrace you and drift off into a tranquil and rejuvenating slumber. Sleep now, and let the peacefulness of the night guide you to a sound and restful sleep. Let us now journey to the land of the pharaohs, to ancient Egypt, a civilization renowned for its sophisticated understanding of the human body, as evidenced by their meticulous mummification practices. These weren't simply burial rituals. They reveal a surprisingly advanced knowledge of anatomy and preservation techniques, far exceeding the understanding of many other cultures at the time. Imagine the scene: a skilled embalmer, his tools laid out before him, carefully crafted instruments made of bronze, obsidian, or wood. He approaches the deceased, a pharaoh, a noble, or perhaps a commoner, with reverence and precision. The process, a complex and multi-stage undertaking, demanded not only skill, but also a deep understanding of the human body's structure and the processes of decomposition. The first step involved the meticulous removal of internal organs. The embalmers possessed a detailed knowledge of the body's internal layout, carefully extracting the brain through the nasal cavity and the vital organs, the liver, lungs, stomach, and intestines, through an incision made in the left flank. These organs were then individually preserved and often placed within canopic jars, each adorned with the head of a protective deity. This act reveals a profound understanding of the body's internal structure, a knowledge far beyond mere superficial observation. The removal of organs wasn't just a matter of simple extraction. The embalmers demonstrated an understanding of the role each organ played in the body's functioning. This knowledge is further highlighted by the careful preservation of each organ, indicating a belief in their continued importance, even in the afterlife. The meticulous nature of the process speaks volumes about the respect accorded to the deceased and the significance attached to the preservation of the body for the journey to eternity. After the removal of the organs, the body cavity was thoroughly cleaned and prepared. Resins and natron, a naturally occurring salt, were used to desiccate the body, drawing out moisture and preventing bacterial growth. This process, a testament to their understanding of preservation techniques, ensured that the body would remain intact for centuries. The careful selection and application of these materials indicate a deep understanding of chemistry and its application to the preservation of organic matter. The precision and consistency of these methods speak volumes about the training and expertise of the ancient Egyptian embalmers. Following the desiccation process, the body was meticulously wrapped in linen bandages. The process was not merely functional. It was also imbued with ritualistic and spiritual significance. Amulets and charms were often placed within the bandages, offering protection to the deceased in their journey through the afterlife. The intricate wrapping technique and the symbolic placement of amulets further highlight the deep connection between religious beliefs and the practical aspects of mummification. The mummification process, far from being a mere act of preservation, was a ritualistic undertaking imbued with profound spiritual meaning. It represented a profound understanding of the human body and the afterlife, showcasing a complex interplay of scientific knowledge and religious beliefs. The careful attention to detail, the precise techniques, and the symbolic elements incorporated into the process reveal a sophisticated understanding of anatomy, preservation, and the spiritual significance of the human body. As we reflect upon the intricate art of ancient Egyptian mummification, let the image of the serene Nile River, flowing gently under the warm Egyptian sun, soothe your mind. Feel the soft, warm breeze on your skin, and let the calming rhythm of my voice guide you toward a state of peaceful relaxation. Allow the darkness to envelop you, bringing with it the gentle promise of restful slumber. Sleep now, and let the tranquility of the night embrace you, preparing you for a deep and restorative sleep. Let the peaceful silence of a night surround you, and drift off into a peaceful and rejuvenating slumber. Now, let us journey to ancient Greece, the birthplace of Western medicine, and explore a theory that profoundly shaped medical practice for centuries: the humoral theory. Imagine a world where illness was not understood as a result of invading microorganisms, but rather as an imbalance within the body itself. This was the premise of the humoral theory, a concept that, while ultimately flawed, profoundly influenced medical thinking for millennia. The humoral theory, primarily attributed to Hippocrates and Galen, posited that the human body contained four essential humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. These humors were believed to be fundamental to health, and their balance was considered crucial for well-being. An excess or deficiency of any of these humors was thought to be the root cause of disease. Imagine the body as a delicate scale, with each humor representing a weight, and illness arising from a disruption of this equilibrium. Blood, associated with air and warmth, was believed to be responsible for vitality and energy. Phlegm, linked to water and cold, was associated with calmness and placidity. Yellow bile, connected to fire and heat, was believed to be the source of anger and aggression. Finally, black bile, associated with earth and dryness, was linked to melancholy and depression. These elemental associations reflect the ancient Greek understanding of the cosmos and its influence on the human body. The humoral theory dictated that maintaining a harmonious balance between these humors was essential for health. Medical interventions were largely aimed at restoring this balance. If a patient exhibited symptoms associated with an excess of yellow bile, for example, treatments would focus on reducing this excess. This might involve methods such as bloodletting, purging, or the use of specific herbs and diets believed to counteract the effects of the dominant humor. Bloodletting, a common practice throughout history, was a central feature of humoral medicine. The belief was that removing excess blood could restore the balance of the humors, thereby alleviating symptoms. Imagine the scene: a physician carefully selecting a vein, making an incision, and collecting the patient's blood in a bowl. The quantity of blood removed would vary depending on the physician's judgment and the patient's condition. While sometimes beneficial, it is easy to see how such a practice could lead to severe complications and even death, especially given the lack of antiseptic techniques and the limited understanding of blood's vital role in the body. Purging, another widely used technique, involved inducing vomiting or diarrhea to eliminate excess humors. Herbs and substances with emetic or purgative properties were used to achieve this. The goal was to cleanse the body of the offending humor, restoring the balance and alleviating symptoms. Again, while sometimes offering temporary relief, these methods could also lead to significant dehydration and electrolyte imbalances, further weakening the patient. The humoral theory, while flawed in its understanding of disease mechanisms, was not entirely without merit. Certain practices derived from this theory, such as dietary adjustments and the use of certain herbal remedies, may have had some therapeutic benefit. However, the theory's limitations became increasingly apparent as medical knowledge advanced. The theory's inability to explain contagious diseases, for example, highlighted its fundamental flaws. The humoral theory couldn't account for the spread of illness from one person to another, a phenomenon that became increasingly evident with the development of observational and epidemiological methods. This inability to explain infectious diseases represented a significant limitation of the humoral theory and paved the way for the development of more accurate models of disease causation. Despite its limitations, the humoral theory's influence on medical practice was profound and long-lasting. It shaped medical thinking for centuries, influencing treatment strategies and medical education. However, it's crucial to acknowledge its limitations and recognize the significant advances in medical understanding that have since superseded this ancient framework. As we reflect on the humoral theory, let us appreciate the complex evolution of medical knowledge, a journey marked by both ingenious insights and significant misconceptions. Now, let the quiet stillness of the night surround you as you drift off into a peaceful and restorative sleep. Let the gentle rhythm of my voice lull you into a deep and tranquil slumber. Sleep now, and let the calm darkness embrace you. Let us now transport ourselves to the medieval period, a time of profound societal changes and, unfortunately, devastating outbreaks of infectious diseases. Imagine the bustling streets of a medieval city, a vibrant tapestry of human activity, but also a breeding ground for contagious illnesses. The understanding of contagion during this era was, by modern standards, rudimentary, yet it shaped public health measures and influenced perceptions of disease for centuries. The dominant theory of contagion during the medieval period was miasma theory. Miasma theory proposed that disease was caused by bad air, or miasma, emanating from decaying organic matter, stagnant water, or other sources of foul odors. Imagine the stench of overflowing sewage, the lingering smell of rotting garbage, the pervasive aroma of unwashed bodies. These were considered the primary culprits of illness. The air, thick with these noxious fumes, was believed to carry disease, infecting those who inhaled it. This theory, although inaccurate in its fundamental premise, resonated with the observable reality of disease clustering around areas of poor sanitation and decay. The impact of miasma theory on public health measures was significant, although often ineffective. Efforts to combat disease focused primarily on improving air quality, rather than understanding the true nature of infectious agents. Measures included burning incense and aromatic herbs to mask foul odors, believing that this would purify the air and prevent disease. The use of perfumes and fragrant spices was widespread, not just for aesthetic purposes, but as a believed defense against the miasma-borne diseases. The scent of herbs and spices, it was thought, could counteract or neutralize the harmful effects of the bad air. Another common practice was the creation of quarantine zones. While not based on a complete understanding of transmission, the concept of isolating individuals suspected of having a contagious disease recognized the need to limit the spread of illness. These quarantine zones, often temporary structures outside city walls, aim to contain the disease and prevent its spread into the wider population. While not always effective due to limited resources and understanding of transmission dynamics, these quarantine attempts demonstrated a rudimentary understanding of the need to limit contact with infected individuals. The role of sanitation was also acknowledged, although the connection between sanitation and disease was not fully understood. Efforts were made to improve drainage systems and to remove refuse from streets, although these measures were often insufficient to make a significant impact on the prevalence of disease. The rudimentary understanding of sanitation and its connection to health is evident in the limited scope of these efforts. Despite the limitations of miasma theory, it provided a framework for understanding disease spread, albeit an inaccurate one. The measures employed, though often ineffective by modern standards, reflected a desire to mitigate the effects of disease and protect the community. The efforts to improve air quality, isolate infected individuals, and improve sanitation, however crude, represented a rudimentary attempt at public health intervention. The medieval period also witnessed the development of rudimentary forms of medical care. Physicians, often trained in universities or through apprenticeships, relied heavily on humoral theory and observation to diagnose and treat illnesses. They employed a range of treatments, some of which were surprisingly effective despite their lack of scientific basis. These treatments often focused on restoring the balance of humors, using herbal remedies, bloodletting, and other methods. The experience of the Black Death, a devastating pandemic that ravaged Europe in the 14th century, further underscored the limitations of medieval understanding of contagion. While the miasma theory couldn't explain the rapid and widespread spread of the plague, the devastating impact of the pandemic ultimately contributed to a reevaluation of medical practices and a gradual shift towards more accurate understanding of disease transmission. As we reflect on the medieval understanding of contagion, let the image of a tranquil, starlit sky fill your mind. Imagine the gentle, rhythmic sounds of crickets chirping in the distance. Feel the soft weight of your blanket, the cool air on your skin. Let these images and sensations guide you toward a state of deep relaxation and peaceful slumber. Sleep now, and allow the calming darkness to embrace you. Now, let's journey to a period of significant transformation in medical knowledge and practice, the rise of medical universities. Imagine the bustling academic centers of the late medieval and early modern periods, where scholars and aspiring physicians gathered to study the art and science of healing. The establishment of medical universities marked a turning point, shifting medical education from apprenticeship-based training to a more formalized system of instruction. This transition, while gradual and uneven, laid the groundwork for the modern medical profession. Before the advent of medical universities, medical knowledge was largely transmitted through apprenticeships. Aspiring physicians would work alongside experienced practitioners, learning through observation and hands-on experience. This system, while providing practical skills, lacked the structured curriculum and theoretical grounding that universities offered. Imagine a young apprentice, diligently observing his master's techniques, absorbing knowledge through direct experience, a system fraught with inconsistencies and limited theoretical understanding. The first medical schools emerged in the medieval period, often associated with existing universities. These early institutions offered a more structured curriculum, incorporating elements of classical medical texts, such as the works of Galen and Hippocrates, alongside newer observations and theories. The curriculum often included lectures, dissections, and clinical practice. Imagine the hushed reverence of an anatomy lecture, the meticulous dissection of a cadaver, the careful examination of a patient's symptoms, moments that shaped the educational experience of aspiring physicians. However, even within these early medical universities, the quality of education varied significantly. The availability of cadavers for dissection, for instance, was often limited, hindering anatomical studies. The reliance on classical texts, while providing a foundation of knowledge, also meant that outdated or incorrect theories could persist, hindering progress. Imagine the challenges faced by students attempting to reconcile ancient theories with new observations and the limitations imposed by insufficient resources. The curriculum of medical universities during this period typically involved a combination of theoretical and practical instruction. Students would attend lectures on anatomy, physiology, and pathology, learning about the structure and function of the human body and the mechanisms of disease. This theoretical grounding was complemented by practical experience through clinical observations and participation in treatments. Imagine the balance between theoretical learning and practical application, a foundation for a more comprehensive medical education. However, the emphasis on classical texts and traditional practices meant that many outdated or incorrect theories persisted. The humoral theory, for example, continued to influence medical practice for centuries, even as evidence began to emerge that contradicted its fundamental tenets. The persistence of these outdated theories underscores the gradual nature of scientific progress and the challenges of overcoming deeply ingrained beliefs. Despite these limitations, the establishment of medical universities represented a significant step forward in medical education. The introduction of a more structured curriculum, the incorporation of clinical experience, and the emphasis on anatomical study laid the groundwork for future advancements in medical knowledge and practice. The development of medical universities, albeit imperfect, marked a transition from an apprenticeship model to a more formalized system of education, a critical step in the evolution of the medical profession. The rise of medical universities also fostered a sense of community among physicians. These institutions provided a setting for the exchange of ideas, the development of professional standards, and the advancement of medical knowledge. The interaction among students and faculty facilitated collaborative learning and the dissemination of new findings. Imagine the vibrant intellectual exchange within the university walls, the collaborative efforts to advance medical understanding, and the laying of the groundwork for future advancements. The impact of medical universities extended beyond the training of physicians. These institutions also played a crucial role in the advancement of medical research and the development of new treatments. The structured environment of a university fostered a more systematic approach to the study of disease, leading to incremental improvements in medical practices. Imagine the gradual accumulation of medical knowledge, the systematic investigation of disease, and the incremental improvements in treatment strategies. The legacy of the early medical universities is profound. They laid the foundation for modern medical education, fostering a more systematic and structured approach to the training of physicians. The development of these institutions, while initially imperfect, marked a significant step forward in the progress of medical knowledge and practice. As we reflect on this era of transformation, let the calming rhythm of my voice guide you toward a peaceful and restorative sleep. Let the gentle darkness embrace you, and allow the quiet stillness of the night to lull you into a deep and tranquil slumber. Now, let us turn our attention to a pivotal moment in the history of medicine, the discovery of blood circulation by William Harvey. Imagine the 17th century, a time of scientific revolution, where established theories were being challenged and new discoveries were reshaping our understanding of the natural world. This was the era in which William Harvey, an English physician, made a groundbreaking contribution to medical science, forever altering the course of medical understanding. For centuries, medical understanding had been dominated by the humoral theory, a system of thought that attributed illness to imbalances in the body's four humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. The prevailing belief was that blood ebbed and flowed throughout the body, but the precise mechanisms of its movement remained largely unknown. Imagine this era of medical practice, where treatments often focused on manipulating these humors through bloodletting, purging, and other methods, all based on a rudimentary and ultimately flawed understanding of the body's circulatory system. Harvey's work challenged this long-held belief. Through meticulous observation, experimentation, and anatomical dissection, he demonstrated that blood circulates continuously throughout the body, propelled by the heart's pumping action. Imagine Harvey, engrossed in his studies, meticulously dissecting animal hearts, observing the rhythmic contractions, and tracing the flow of blood through the vessels. His observations were meticulous, his experiments carefully designed, and his conclusions revolutionary. His groundbreaking treatise, De Motu Cordis, published in 1628, detailed his findings and presented compelling evidence for the circulatory system. This publication marked a paradigm shift in medical understanding, replacing the vague notions of blood ebb and flow with a precise and comprehensive model of the circulatory system. Imagine the impact of this publication on the medical community, the challenge it posed to established beliefs, and the gradual acceptance of this groundbreaking discovery. Harvey's work involved a combination of careful observation and ingenious experimentation. He meticulously observed the heart's action, noting its rhythmic contractions and the direction of blood flow. He also performed experiments, such as ligating veins and arteries, to measure blood flow and pressure. Imagine Harvey's methodical approach, his meticulous observations, and his innovative experimental techniques, a testament to his dedication to scientific inquiry. The impact of Harvey's discovery was profound and far-reaching. It provided a new framework for understanding the physiology of the body, laying the foundation for future advancements in medicine. It shifted the focus of medical practice from manipulating humors to understanding the intricate workings of the circulatory system. Imagine the transformation in medical thinking, the shift from a humoral perspective to a circulatory one, and the impact this had on medical practice and research. Before Harvey's discovery, many medical treatments were based on the flawed understanding of the humoral system. Bloodletting, for example, was a common practice, often done to remove excess blood believed to be causing illness. Harvey's work helped to discredit these practices, paving the way for more effective and rational approaches to treatment. Imagine the gradual decline of bloodletting as a common practice, replaced by treatments informed by a more accurate understanding of the circulatory system. Harvey's discovery also stimulated further research in anatomy and physiology. His work inspired other scientists to investigate the intricacies of the circulatory system, leading to a deeper understanding of the heart, blood vessels, and the mechanisms of blood flow. Imagine the ripple effect of Harvey's discovery, inspiring further scientific inquiry and a deeper understanding of human physiology. The legacy of William Harvey extends far beyond his discovery of blood circulation. He exemplified the importance of meticulous observation, careful experimentation, and rigorous scientific inquiry in advancing medical understanding. His work stands as a testament to the power of scientific investigation and its transformative impact on medicine. As we reflect on Harvey's remarkable contribution, let the image of a calm, still lake fill your mind. Imagine the gentle lapping of waves against the shore, the soft rustling of leaves in the breeze. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, the gentle breeze on your face. Allow these peaceful images and sensations to wash over you, guiding you towards a state of deep relaxation and peaceful sleep. Let the quiet stillness of the night embrace you, and drift off to sleep, your mind at ease. Let us now turn our attention to a fascinating and pivotal development in the history of medicine: the early attempts at vaccination. Long before the advent of modern vaccines, humanity grappled with devastating infectious diseases, searching for ways to protect themselves from their ravages. While the understanding of disease transmission was rudimentary, ingenious methods emerged, some effective, others fraught with peril. We will explore these early vaccination techniques, focusing on variolation and the inherent risks involved. For centuries, smallpox, a highly contagious and often fatal disease, plagued populations across the globe. The devastating effects of smallpox left an indelible mark on societies, claiming countless lives and leaving survivors with disfiguring scars. Imagine a world where the constant threat of smallpox loomed large, a world where families lived in fear of this deadly disease. In the face of this formidable threat, people sought ways to protect themselves. One such method was variolation, a practice that involved inoculating individuals with material from smallpox pustules. This practice, though rudimentary by modern standards, represented an early attempt to harness the body's immune response to combat disease. Imagine the courage and desperation that drove people to adopt this risky procedure, a testament to the human will to survive. Variolation was practiced in various forms across different cultures. In some regions, material from smallpox pustules was introduced through the skin, while in others, it was inhaled. These methods, while seemingly crude, were based on the observation that individuals who had recovered from smallpox were often immune to subsequent infections. Imagine the careful observation of patterns of infection and recovery, the gradual recognition of a form of immunity, leading to the development of this early vaccination technique. The process of variolation was not without its risks. While it could confer immunity, it also carried the risk of causing a severe, sometimes fatal, case of smallpox. The success rate varied, and the procedure itself could be painful and potentially dangerous. Imagine the apprehension and uncertainty associated with this procedure, the precarious balance between potential benefit and the risk of severe illness or death. Despite these risks, variolation was widely practiced for centuries, representing a significant step in the fight against smallpox. It offered a degree of protection that was not available through other means, and its use helped to reduce the severity and mortality rate of smallpox outbreaks. Imagine the widespread adoption of this practice, the slow but steady reduction in smallpox infections, and the hope it offered to communities ravaged by this deadly disease. The development of variolation highlights the ingenuity and determination of people facing the devastating impact of infectious diseases. It represents an early, albeit imperfect, understanding of immunity and the body's capacity to fight off infection. Imagine the gradual accumulation of knowledge, the slow but steady progress in understanding disease and developing methods of prevention. However, variolation was far from a perfect solution. Its inherent risks, the potential for severe complications, and the variability in its effectiveness made it a risky proposition. The introduction of a live virus, albeit in a weakened form, carried the potential for widespread outbreaks. Imagine the constant tension between the risks and benefits of this early vaccination technique, the necessity of weighing the potential for harm against the possibility of protection. The limitations of variolation paved the way for the development of safer and more effective vaccination techniques. The discovery of safer methods of vaccination, methods that avoided the risks associated with variolation, marked a significant turning point in the fight against smallpox. Imagine the gradual shift towards safer and more effective vaccination methods, the hope and progress that accompanied these advancements. The story of variolation is a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of humanity in the face of devastating disease. It represents an early attempt to harness the power of the immune system, an attempt that, while imperfect, laid the groundwork for the development of modern vaccination techniques. Let the image of a tranquil garden fill your mind, the gentle sounds of nature soothing your senses. Feel the weight of your worries lifting as the tranquility of the evening washes over you. Let the peaceful sounds lull you into a deep and restful sleep. Now, let us delve into a transformative era in medical history, one that fundamentally reshaped our understanding of disease and its treatment: the rise of the germ theory of disease. For centuries, the causes of illness remained largely shrouded in mystery, with explanations ranging from imbalances in the body's humors to divine retribution. Yet, the late 19th century witnessed a paradigm shift, a revolution in medical thought that would forever alter the course of medicine. Before the acceptance of the germ theory, the understanding of disease was often limited and inaccurate. Miasma theory, for instance, posited that diseases were caused by bad air, or miasmas emanating from decaying organic matter. Imagine a world where the stench of decaying matter was considered the primary cause of illness, where efforts to improve public health focused on air purification and sanitation rather than addressing the true infectious agents. The germ theory, in contrast, proposed that many diseases were caused by microscopic organisms, germs, that invaded the body and caused illness. This revolutionary idea, though initially met with skepticism, gradually gained acceptance as scientific evidence mounted. Imagine the meticulous work of scientists tirelessly observing microorganisms under microscopes, painstakingly documenting their roles in various diseases. Among the pioneering figures who contributed to the development of the germ theory was Louis Pasteur. Through his experiments on fermentation and pasteurization, Pasteur demonstrated the role of microorganisms in spoilage and disease. Imagine Pasteur diligently working in his laboratory, conducting meticulous experiments that unveiled the world of microorganisms and their impact on human health. His groundbreaking work laid the groundwork for the development of pasteurization, a process that revolutionized food preservation and significantly reduced foodborne illnesses. Another pivotal figure in the establishment of the germ theory was Robert Koch. Koch's postulates, a set of criteria for establishing a causal relationship between a microorganism and a disease, provided a rigorous framework for identifying disease-causing pathogens. Imagine Koch meticulously following his postulates, painstakingly isolating and identifying various disease-causing bacteria, contributing significantly to the understanding of infectious diseases. The acceptance of the germ theory marked a fundamental shift in medical practice. The understanding that diseases were caused by specific microorganisms paved the way for the development of targeted treatments and preventive measures. Imagine the transformation in medical thinking, the shift from a focus on humoral imbalances and miasmas to a precise understanding of microbial pathogens and their mechanisms of action. One of the most significant consequences of the germ theory was the development of antiseptic and aseptic techniques. Before the germ theory, surgical procedures were often performed without any attempt at sterilization. Imagine the high rates of post-operative infections, the suffering and mortality associated with unclean surgical environments. Joseph Lister, a pioneering surgeon, played a crucial role in introducing antiseptic techniques. Inspired by Pasteur's work, Lister recognized the importance of sterilizing surgical instruments and the operating field to prevent infections. Imagine Lister meticulously sterilizing his instruments using carbolic acid, dramatically reducing the incidence of post-operative infections and improving surgical outcomes. His pioneering work transformed surgical practice, reducing mortality rates and making surgery a safer procedure. Aseptic techniques, which aim to maintain a sterile environment during surgery, further reduce the risk of infection. The development of aseptic techniques involved meticulous attention to detail, including the sterilization of instruments, gowns, and the operating room itself. Imagine the transformation of operating rooms, the shift from unclean environments to sterile settings, a testament to the commitment to patient safety. The introduction of antiseptic and aseptic techniques revolutionized surgical practice, significantly reducing the risk of post-operative infections and improving patient outcomes. These practices, along with advances in sterilization techniques, contributed to the increased safety and efficacy of surgical interventions. Imagine the gradual acceptance of these techniques, the improvement in surgical outcomes, and the growing confidence in the power of hygiene and sterilization. The impact of the germ theory extends far beyond surgery. It also revolutionized public health practices, leading to improvements in sanitation, water purification, and food safety. Imagine the transformation of cities, the improvement in sanitation infrastructure, the reduction in waterborne illnesses, and the overall improvement in public health. The germ theory of disease represents a pivotal moment in medical history, a landmark achievement that fundamentally altered our understanding of disease and its treatment. Its impact on medical practices, from surgery to public health, is undeniable and continues to shape modern medicine. Let the image of a calm, serene beach fill your mind. Hear the gentle rhythm of the waves. Feel the warm sand beneath your feet. Breathe deeply and allow the soothing sounds and imagery to wash over you, leading you into a peaceful and restful sleep. Let us now transport ourselves to a time before the advent of modern anesthesia, a time when surgical procedures were synonymous with excruciating pain. Imagine the scene: a patient strapped to a table, the surgeon's knife poised, the cries of agony echoing through the operating room. This was the harsh reality of surgery before the discovery of anesthesia. The development of anesthesia, however, would forever change the landscape of medicine, transforming surgery from a brutal ordeal into a more tolerable and ultimately more successful procedure. The journey towards effective anesthesia was a gradual one, marked by experimentation, innovation, and, at times, tragic consequences. Early attempts at pain relief during surgery were rudimentary and often ineffective. Methods range from the use of alcohol and opium to pressure points and various forms of restraint. Imagine the desperation of surgeons and patients alike, seeking any means to alleviate the suffering associated with surgical procedures. One of the earliest recorded uses of an anesthetic agent dates back to ancient civilizations, where various plants and herbs were utilized to induce a state of altered consciousness. These early attempts, though often unreliable and unpredictable, provided a glimpse into the potential of pain relief during surgery. Imagine the meticulous observation of the effects of various plants, the gradual understanding of their potential to alleviate pain. The 19th century witnessed significant advancements in the field of anesthesia. In the 1840s, several individuals independently experimented with different anesthetic agents, ultimately leading to the widespread adoption of safe and effective methods. Imagine the excitement and anticipation surrounding these discoveries, the rapid dissemination of information, and the transformative impact on surgical practices. One of the key figures in the development of anesthesia is William T. G. Morton, a dentist who demonstrated the use of diethyl ether as a general anesthetic in 1846. Morton's demonstration marked a pivotal moment in medical history, as it showcased the potential of ether to induce a state of unconsciousness, allowing for painless surgical procedures. Imagine the scene: Morton administering ether to a patient undergoing surgery, the patient remaining calm and unresponsive to the pain of the procedure. This demonstration marked a profound shift in surgical practices. Crawford Williamson Long, another pioneering figure in the field of anesthesia, had previously used diethyl ether as an anesthetic agent in surgical procedures. Long's early experiments, while not as widely publicized as Morton's, nevertheless played a significant role in establishing the efficacy of ether as an anesthetic. Imagine Long, quietly conducting his experiments, diligently documenting his findings, and contributing to the advancement of anesthesia. The discovery of chloroform, another potent anesthetic agent, further expanded the options available to surgeons. Chloroform, while effective, also carried its own set of risks, including potential cardiac complications. Imagine the careful consideration of the risks and benefits of different anesthetic agents, the ongoing search for safer and more effective methods. The development of anesthesia was not without its challenges. Concerns regarding the safety and efficacy of different anesthetic agents, as well as the lack of standardized administration techniques, posed significant hurdles. Imagine the careful refinement of techniques, the gradual understanding of the optimal dosages and methods of administration, the meticulous attention to detail. As anesthetic techniques improved, the scope of surgical procedures expanded dramatically. The ability to perform complex surgical procedures without causing excruciating pain opened up new possibilities in the treatment of various diseases and injuries. Imagine the transformation of surgery, the increased complexity and scope of procedures, and the improved outcomes for patients. The introduction of anesthesia also had a profound impact on the psychological well-being of patients. The elimination of surgical pain reduced the fear and anxiety associated with surgical interventions, improving patient compliance and cooperation. Imagine the transformation in the patient experience, the reduction in fear and anxiety, and the improved psychological well-being of patients. The development of anesthesia represents a remarkable achievement in medical history. The ability to perform surgery without causing excruciating pain transformed surgical practice, paving the way for more complex procedures and improved patient outcomes. Let the image of a calm, tranquil forest fill your mind. Hear the gentle rustling of leaves. Feel the cool breeze on your skin. Breathe deeply and allow the soothing sounds and imagery to guide you into a peaceful and restorative sleep. Let us now embark on a journey through the fascinating evolution of pharmaceuticals, a journey that takes us from the ancient world's reliance on herbal remedies to the sophisticated, scientifically developed drugs of the modern era. Imagine the ancient apothecaries, their shelves lined with jars filled with strange and exotic herbs, carefully concocting remedies based on centuries-old traditions. This era, while lacking the precision of modern science, laid the foundation for the pharmaceutical revolution that would follow. For centuries, the treatment of illness heavily relied on herbal remedies, the knowledge often passed down through generations. Imagine the intricate system of herbal medicine, a complex interplay of plants, their properties, and their application in treating a wide range of ailments. While some of these remedies proved effective, many lacked scientific backing, their efficacy often based on anecdotal evidence and traditional beliefs. The transition from herbal remedies to scientifically developed drugs was a gradual process, marked by significant breakthroughs in chemistry and pharmacology. The isolation and purification of active compound from plants marked a crucial step in this transition. Imagine the meticulous work of chemists, painstakingly extracting and identifying the active ingredients responsible for the therapeutic effects of various herbs. This process laid the groundwork for the development of more standardized and effective medications. The 19th century witnessed the rise of pharmaceutical companies dedicated to the research, development, and production of drugs. Imagine these early pharmaceutical companies, their laboratories buzzing with activity, scientists tirelessly working to develop new drugs and improve existing ones. This period marked a significant shift in the pharmaceutical industry, transforming it from a small-scale enterprise to a large-scale industry. The discovery of penicillin, an antibiotic derived from a fungus, revolutionized the treatment of bacterial infections. Imagine the profound impact of penicillin, its ability to combat previously untreatable bacterial infections, saving countless lives and transforming the course of medicine. This discovery ushered in the era of antibiotics, fundamentally changing the approach to infectious diseases. The development of synthetic drugs further expanded the range of therapeutic options available to physicians. Imagine the intricate process of designing and synthesizing new drugs, the meticulous testing and evaluation to ensure safety and efficacy. This process, driven by advancements in chemistry and pharmacology, has resulted in the development of a vast array of drugs targeting specific diseases and conditions. The advent of modern drug discovery processes, involving sophisticated screening techniques, genetic engineering, and computer modeling, has significantly accelerated the pace of pharmaceutical innovation. Imagine the advanced technologies used in modern drug discovery, the powerful tools allowing scientists to identify and develop new drugs with unprecedented speed and precision. This has led to the development of novel drugs targeting previously untreatable diseases. The rise of modern pharmaceuticals has brought about significant improvements in the treatment of various diseases and conditions. Imagine the dramatic improvements in patient outcomes, the increased survival rates, and the improved quality of life for millions of individuals. This progress, however, has not been without its challenges. Concerns regarding drug safety and efficacy remain a significant challenge. Imagine the rigorous testing and regulatory processes designed to ensure the safety and efficacy of new drugs, the constant monitoring and evaluation to detect and address any potential adverse effects. This ongoing commitment to safety and efficacy is crucial to ensuring the responsible use of pharmaceuticals. The issue of drug resistance also poses a significant threat to the effectiveness of existing drugs. Imagine the constant battle against drug resistance, the development of new drugs and strategies to combat resistant pathogens. This ongoing challenge requires a continued commitment to research and development. The high cost of pharmaceuticals represents another significant challenge. Imagine the ongoing efforts to ensure access to affordable medications, the exploration of alternative pricing models, and the development of innovative approaches to ensure that essential drugs are available to all who need them. This commitment to equitable access to pharmaceuticals is crucial to ensuring global health equity. The development of modern pharmaceuticals has transformed the treatment of diseases and conditions, leading to significant improvements in patient outcomes. However, challenges remain, necessitating a continued commitment to research, development, and responsible use. Let the image of a serene mountain lake fill your mind. Hear the gentle lapping of the water. Feel the cool air on your face. Breathe deeply and allow the peaceful sounds and imagery to guide you into a restful sleep. Now, let us turn our attention to a particularly controversial chapter in the history of psychiatry, the lobotomy. Imagine a time when the understanding of mental illness was rudimentary, when treatments were often drastic, and when the ethical considerations surrounding medical interventions were not always as rigorously scrutinized as they are today. This was the context in which the lobotomy emerged, a procedure that, while once considered a revolutionary treatment, would later be viewed as a dark stain on the history of psychiatry. The lobotomy, a surgical procedure involving severing connections in the brain's prefrontal cortex, was developed in the early 20th century as a treatment for severe mental illness. Imagine the early proponents of this procedure, driven by a desire to alleviate the suffering of patients struggling with debilitating mental conditions. Their intentions were undoubtedly noble, but their understanding of the brain's intricate workings was, by today's standards, profoundly limited. The initial enthusiasm surrounding the lobotomy stemmed from its apparent effectiveness in reducing certain symptoms of mental illness, such as aggression and agitation. Imagine patients, previously incapacitated by severe symptoms, experiencing a noticeable improvement following the procedure. These early successes fueled the widespread adoption of the lobotomy, despite the lack of a solid scientific foundation supporting its efficacy. The procedure itself was relatively simple, at least in its early iterations. A surgeon would insert an instrument, often an ice pick, through the eye socket, severing connections in the prefrontal cortex. Imagine the stark simplicity of the procedure, the lack of sophisticated surgical techniques, and the inherent risks involved. This minimally invasive approach, while seemingly less traumatic than other surgical procedures of the time, belied the significant and often irreversible consequences of the procedure. As the lobotomy gained popularity, concerns regarding its long-term effects began to emerge. Imagine the gradual realization that the procedure often resulted in significant cognitive and personality changes, leaving patients with debilitating impairments. Many patients experienced apathy, loss of spontaneity, and a general flattening of emotions. The initial euphoria surrounding the procedure began to fade as the devastating long-term consequences became increasingly apparent. The ethical implications of the lobotomy became a focal point of debate. Imagine the discussions among medical professionals, ethicists, and patients' families, grappling with the profound ethical dilemmas raised by the procedure. Questions regarding informed consent, the potential for irreversible damage, and the overall cost-benefit ratio of the procedure were central to these discussions. The development of more effective treatments for mental illness, such as psychotropic medications, contributed to the decline of the lobotomy's popularity. Imagine the gradual shift away from surgical interventions towards pharmacological treatments, a reflection of the advancements in our understanding of mental illness and the development of more targeted and less invasive treatments. The lobotomy, once considered a revolutionary treatment, gradually fell into disuse. The legacy of the lobotomy remains a poignant reminder of the importance of ethical considerations in medical research and practice. Imagine the lessons learned from this controversial chapter in medical history. The increased emphasis on rigorous scientific evaluation, informed consent, and a deep respect for the patient's autonomy. The lobotomy serves as a stark reminder of the potential pitfalls of medical interventions undertaken without a thorough understanding of their consequences. The story of the lobotomy is not simply a historical anecdote. It is a cautionary tale. It highlights the potential dangers of medical hubris, the importance of rigorous scientific scrutiny, and the paramount need to prioritize the well-being and autonomy of patients. Let the image of a calm, quiet meadow fill your mind. Feel the soft grass beneath your feet. Hear the gentle hum of bees. Breathe deeply and allow this peaceful scene to guide you into a restful sleep. Let us now delve into the soothing world of hydrotherapy, a practice that has spanned millennia, its origins lost in the mists of time. Imagine ancient civilizations utilizing the healing properties of water long before the advent of modern medicine. From the simple act of cleansing to the more elaborate rituals involving immersion in natural springs, water has held a prominent place in various cultures' approaches to health and well-being. The use of water for therapeutic purposes can be traced back to ancient Greece and Rome, where public baths were not merely places for hygiene, but also social hubs and centers for healing. Imagine the grandeur of these ancient bathhouses, adorned with intricate mosaics and filled with the warm steam of therapeutic waters. These public baths provided a space for relaxation, socializing, and the application of various hydrotherapeutic techniques. Hippocrates, the father of Western medicine, recognized the therapeutic potential of water and incorporated it into his medical practice. Imagine this revered physician prescribing baths and other water-based treatments for various ailments. His writings contain references to the use of water for both cleansing and therapeutic purposes, highlighting its importance in his holistic approach to medicine. Throughout the Middle Ages, hydrotherapy continued to be practiced, often intertwined with religious and spiritual beliefs. Imagine the monastic orders, utilizing water-based treatments as part of their healing practices. The therapeutic use of water persisted, even as medical understanding remained relatively limited. The 18th and 19th centuries witnessed a renewed interest in hydrotherapy, partly fueled by the rise of various health spas and resorts. Imagine these luxurious establishments offering a range of water-based treatments, from simple baths to more elaborate procedures involving specialized equipment. This era saw the development of various hydrotherapeutic techniques, many of which are still practiced today. The application of hydrotherapy varies widely, encompassing various techniques aimed at achieving different therapeutic outcomes. Imagine the gentle application of warm water compresses to soothe aching muscles, the invigorating sensation of a cold shower to stimulate circulation, and the immersive experience of a full-body bath to relax and promote well-being. The versatility of hydrotherapy allows it to address a wide range of conditions. The purported benefits of hydrotherapy are numerous, although scientific evidence supporting some claims remains limited. Imagine the soothing effects of warm water on tense muscles, the improved circulation resulting from alternating hot and cold water treatments, and the potential for relaxation and stress reduction associated with various water-based therapies. While some benefits are well established, others require further research. In modern medicine, hydrotherapy is often used as a complementary therapy, assisting in the management of various conditions. Imagine its use in conjunction with other treatments, such as physical therapy, to enhance rehabilitation after injury or surgery. Hydrotherapy can also be helpful in managing chronic pain, improving mobility, and promoting relaxation and stress reduction. Its integration into mainstream medical practice demonstrates its continued relevance. Despite its enduring popularity, hydrotherapy is not without its limitations. Individuals with certain medical conditions, such as cardiovascular problems or skin infections, may need to exercise caution or avoid hydrotherapy altogether. Imagine the importance of consulting with a healthcare professional before undergoing any hydrotherapy treatment, ensuring its suitability for individual circumstances. This precaution emphasizes the need for a responsible and informed approach to hydrotherapy. The history of hydrotherapy is a testament to the enduring appeal of water as a therapeutic agent. Its application has evolved over the centuries, adapting to advancements in medical understanding and technology. Imagine the journey from simple immersion in natural springs to the sophisticated techniques employed in modern hydrotherapy centers. This evolution showcases the enduring human fascination with the healing potential of water. As we conclude our exploration of hydrotherapy, let us reflect on its enduring legacy. It stands as a reminder of the importance of considering alternative and complementary therapies in a holistic approach to healthcare. Imagine the integration of hydrotherapy into a comprehensive treatment plan, addressing not only the physical symptoms of a condition, but also the emotional and psychological well-being of the patient. This holistic perspective highlights the multifaceted nature of health and well-being. Let the image of a gentle stream flowing through a lush forest fill your mind. Hear the calming sounds of nature. Feel the cool breeze on your skin. Breathe deeply and allow this serene scene to lull you into a peaceful slumber. Now, let us turn our attention to a treatment that has a long and often controversial history in psychiatry: electroconvulsive therapy, or ECT. Imagine a time when the understanding of severe mental illness was limited and treatments were often drastic. This was the backdrop against which ECT emerged, a procedure that has evolved significantly since its inception. The origins of ECT can be traced back to the early 20th century, when researchers observed that induced seizures seemed to have a positive effect on patients with severe mental illnesses. Imagine the early experiments, the careful observations, and the gradual realization that this seemingly harsh intervention could provide relief from debilitating symptoms. These initial observations laid the groundwork for the development of ECT as a treatment modality. Early forms of ECT were significantly more rudimentary than the refined procedures used today. Imagine the initial treatments, often involving high-voltage currents and lacking the anesthesia and muscle relaxants used in modern practices. These early applications were undoubtedly traumatic and often resulted in significant side effects, including broken bones and memory loss. As medical knowledge advanced, so too did the techniques used in ECT. Imagine the gradual refinement of the procedure, the introduction of anesthesia to minimize pain and discomfort, and the development of muscle relaxants to prevent physical trauma. These advancements significantly improve the safety and tolerability of ECT. The evolution of ECT reflects the changing understanding of mental illness and the ethical considerations surrounding medical interventions. Imagine the ethical debates that surrounded its use, the concerns about patient autonomy, and the ongoing efforts to refine the procedure and minimize its risks. These debates continue to shape the way ECT is administered and monitored. Today, ECT is used primarily as a treatment for severe mental illnesses, such as major depressive disorder or bipolar disorder, that have not responded to other treatments. Imagine a patient suffering from debilitating depression, unresponsive to medication and therapy, and finding relief through ECT. It is typically reserved for cases where other interventions have proven ineffective. The procedure involves inducing a brief seizure through the application of controlled electrical currents to the brain. Imagine the precise application of the electrical current, the careful monitoring of the patient's vital signs, and the post-procedure care provided to ensure patient safety and recovery. This controlled induction of a seizure is believed to have therapeutic effects on brain chemistry. The use of ECT is always preceded by a thorough evaluation of the patient's medical history and current condition. Imagine the collaborative process between the psychiatrist and the patient, the shared decision-making process, and the careful weighing of the potential benefits and risks of the procedure. This informed consent process is crucial in ensuring ethical and responsible treatment. While ECT can be an effective treatment for severe mental illness, it is not without potential side effects. Imagine the temporary cognitive side effects, such as memory loss and confusion, that can occur after a treatment session. These side effects are usually temporary, and their severity can be minimized through careful monitoring and the use of appropriate techniques. The use of ECT remains a subject of ongoing debate and research. Imagine the continued study and refinement of ECT techniques, the exploration of its mechanisms of action, and the ongoing efforts to improve its safety and efficacy. This ongoing research reflects the commitment to providing the best possible care for patients with severe mental illnesses. As we conclude our discussion on ECT, let us reflect on its evolution and its current role in psychiatry. Imagine the path it has traveled, from its early, often brutal applications to its current, more refined and controlled form. This journey underscores the importance of ethical considerations, ongoing research, and patient-centered care in the treatment of severe mental illness. Let the image of a calm, starry night sky fill your mind. Feel the gentle coolness of the night air on your skin. Hear the soft rustling of leaves. Breathe deeply and allow the tranquility of the night to guide you into a peaceful and restorative sleep. Now, let us consider the broader societal impact of the unusual and bizarre medical practices we have explored. The story of medicine is not just a narrative of scientific discovery and therapeutic innovation. It is deeply intertwined with the social fabric of the times, reflecting the prevailing beliefs, power structures, and inequalities that shaped access to healthcare and determined treatment outcomes. Throughout history, access to medical care has been profoundly influenced by class. Imagine the stark contrast between the treatments available to the wealthy elite and those accessible to the common people. The rich often enjoyed the services of skilled physicians and access to advanced, for their time, treatments, while the poor were left to rely on folk remedies or the often unskilled practitioners. This disparity created a significant gap in health outcomes, with the wealthy enjoying a considerable advantage in terms of both prevention and treatment. Gender also played a crucial role in shaping healthcare experiences. Imagine the limitations placed on women's access to medical care and the often biased and inadequate treatment they received. Women were frequently denied the same level of medical attention as men, their illnesses often misdiagnosed or dismissed. This unequal treatment stems from deeply ingrained societal biases that marginalized women's health concerns and limited their access to appropriate medical care. Cultural beliefs and practices exerted a powerful influence on medical interventions. Imagine the diverse range of healing traditions that existed across different cultures, each with its own set of beliefs, rituals, and treatments. Some practices, while seemingly unusual from a modern perspective, held significant therapeutic value within their cultural contexts. However, others may have inflicted harm due to a lack of understanding of underlying medical principles. The interaction between cultural beliefs and medical practices highlights the importance of cultural sensitivity and respect in healthcare. The impact of these practices extended beyond individual experiences to shape entire societies. Imagine the profound consequences of widespread epidemics and the societal responses to them. Outbreaks of disease often expose the limitations of existing medical knowledge and the inequalities in access to healthcare. These events force societies to confront their vulnerabilities and to adapt their medical practices accordingly. The history of medicine also reveals the significant role of power dynamics in shaping healthcare systems. Imagine the authority wielded by physicians and the influence of powerful institutions on medical practices. This authority, while sometimes beneficial in driving progress, could also be used to suppress dissenting views or to promote treatments that were not necessarily effective or safe. This complex interaction between power and medicine underscores the importance of transparency and accountability in healthcare. The ethical implications of many historical medical practices are profound and often disturbing. Imagine the numerous instances where patients were subjected to treatments that were not only ineffective but also caused significant harm. The lack of informed consent, the disregard for patient autonomy, and the often arbitrary nature of treatment decisions highlight the importance of ethical considerations in modern medical practice. The evolution of medical practices is not simply a linear progression toward greater sophistication and effectiveness. It is a complex and often contradictory process. Imagine the interplay between scientific advancements, societal beliefs, and ethical considerations in shaping the course of medical history. This complex interplay highlights the need for continuous reflection and critical evaluation of medical practices. As we reflect on the societal impact of these practices, it is crucial to acknowledge the enduring legacy of inequality and injustice in healthcare. Imagine the persistent disparities in access to care, the ongoing challenges of addressing health inequities, and the need for greater attention to the social determinants of health. These issues underscore the importance of social justice and equity in healthcare systems. The history of medical practices also teaches us the importance of critical thinking and evidence-based medicine. Imagine the gradual shift from reliance on traditional practices and beliefs to a more scientific approach to healthcare. This evolution emphasizes the need for careful evaluation of medical interventions, rigorous research, and a commitment to improving patient outcomes. The study of medical history provides valuable insights into the relationship between medicine, society, and culture. Imagine the deep connection between medical practices and the social, cultural, and political contexts in which they emerged. This complex interplay necessitates an interdisciplinary approach to understanding the history and evolution of healthcare. Let us conclude by remembering that the journey of medical progress has been paved with both remarkable achievements and regrettable errors. Imagine the lessons learned from past mistakes, the ongoing efforts to address health inequities, and the commitment to providing safe, effective, and ethical healthcare for all. This reflection highlights the enduring importance of learning from history and applying those lessons to create a more just and equitable healthcare system. Let the image of a warm, crackling fireplace fill your mind. Feel the gentle warmth spreading through your body. Hear the soothing crackle of the flames. Breathe deeply and allow this peaceful scene to guide you into a deep and restful sleep. As our journey through the curious and sometimes unsettling landscape of historical medical practices draws to a close, let us pause to reflect on the profound lessons learned and the ethical considerations that must continue to shape the future of medicine. This exploration has revealed not only the ingenuity and resourcefulness of past practitioners, but also the limitations of their knowledge and the devastating consequences of their sometimes misguided interventions. The evolution of medicine is a testament to humanity's persistent quest for healing and well-being. From the rudimentary techniques of ancient civilizations to the sophisticated technologies of modern medicine, we have witnessed a remarkable progression in our understanding of the human body and the diseases that afflict it. Yet, this progress has not been without its missteps, its ethical lapses, and its moments of profound misunderstanding. The practices we have examined, from trepanation to bloodletting, from mercury cures to lobotomies, serve as stark reminders of the dangers of relying on incomplete knowledge and neglecting the ethical dimensions of medical care. One of the most striking takeaways from this exploration is the significant impact of societal factors on healthcare access and outcomes. The disparities in access to quality medical care based on class, gender, and cultural background are not merely historical relics. They continue to plague healthcare systems around the world. The historical record underscores the urgent need for equity in healthcare, ensuring that all individuals, regardless of their social standing or cultural identity, have access to the best possible medical care. The ethical considerations that underpin medical practice are of paramount importance. The historical record reveals instances where the pursuit of medical advancement has been marred by a disregard for patient autonomy, informed consent, and the potential for harm. The lessons learned from these past mistakes should serve as a guiding principle for future medical practices, emphasizing the importance of patient-centered care, respect for individual rights, and a commitment to minimizing risks. The development of evidence-based medicine represents a crucial turning point in the history of healthcare. The shift from relying on traditional practices and anecdotal evidence to a more rigorous, scientific approach has dramatically improved the safety and effectiveness of medical interventions. This commitment to scientific rigor and continuous evaluation is essential for ensuring the quality and integrity of medical practices. Moreover, the historical perspective provided by this exploration highlights the importance of ongoing education and critical reflection in the field of medicine. The evolution of medical knowledge is a continuous process, and what may have seemed effective or appropriate in the past may now be considered obsolete or even harmful. A willingness to question established practices, to embrace new knowledge, and to adapt to changing circumstances is essential for maintaining the highest standards of medical care. The stories we have encountered of individuals suffering from debilitating illnesses, of practitioners striving to alleviate suffering, and of societies grappling with the challenges of disease remind us of the profound human dimension of medical practice. The history of medicine is not merely a chronicle of scientific discoveries. It is a deeply human story, filled with moments of hope, despair, courage, and compassion. The study of historical medical practices offers not only a fascinating glimpse into the past, but also a valuable lens through which to view the present and shape the future. By understanding the mistakes and successes of past generations, we can learn to navigate the complex ethical and scientific challenges of contemporary healthcare. We can use this knowledge to create a more just, equitable, and compassionate healthcare system for all. The enduring legacy of this exploration is a deeper appreciation for the intricate interplay between medicine, society, and culture. The practices we've examined reveal how medical interventions are not isolated events, but are deeply embedded in the social, cultural, and political landscapes of their time. This understanding is crucial for fostering a more holistic and effective approach to healthcare. Let us carry with us the lessons learned from this historical journey as we continue to strive for a future where medical practices are guided by both scientific rigor and ethical principles. Let us remember that the pursuit of healing is not merely a scientific endeavor, but a profound human responsibility. As we conclude, let the image of a calm, serene ocean fill your mind. Feel the gentle rhythm of the waves. Hear the soothing sound of the sea. Breathe deeply and allow the tranquility of the ocean to guide you into a peaceful and refreshing sleep.